Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech News Weekly. I'm your host, Andrew here, and of course I'm joined by John Bubb, as I am each and every week. How you doing, John?
Hey Andrew, how's it going?
Going good. We were not here last week. I was 38,000 feet in the air.
The Mile High Club.
I was flying home, and I'll tell you, you know what's interesting? The internet going was phenomenal. Internet coming back was awful.
It varies plane by plane, dude.
Yeah. It was interesting. Like the whole thing, like the fact that it's, kind of all over the place. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, depending on one flight. And you know what's interesting also? I had cell phone reception for many parts of that flight. Like I was getting text messages on my phone. I had never had that happen before.
Huh.
Yeah. So that was my trip. That's why we didn't have a show last week. But holy crap, the year's almost over.
Yeah. We've got maybe one show left if we're doing one after Christmas Day.
Yeah, I think we should do it, no?
Yeah, if we're all around.
Yeah, we'll do like a wrap up.
Yeah.
Of the year.
What our favorite stories of the year were, what we remember.
Yeah, we're going to
And then, of course, if anybody else has comments for end of the year thoughts, they can also, tweet us or go to our subreddit, gfqtech.reddit.com.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because it was a fascinating year when it came to technology and things that changed and things that improved and
things that didn't improve.
Things that didn't improve, which I spoke about on Wednesday a little bit on things that I'm a little upset about. Well, yesterday on Thursday I spoke about it. So it's an interesting time. But we should do two shows. We should do one about the things that happened, and we'll do one like what we're hoping for the year.
Yeah,
because there's a lot that we're hoping for. One thing that
we always hope for stuff. So
something that has really changed for me.
We want this futuristic world now. Basically, I mean, we all have these ideas, and we all believe that the technology is out there to do a lot of different things. So the fact is that nobody's doing these things, or it costs too dang much.
Yeah, something that I don't look forward to anymore is CES.
Oh, totally.
That was like a big thing.
Less about CES.
That was a big thing for me. Every year CES would come and I'd be really interested, and the last 3 years has been nothing but nonsense.
The fact is that they focus so heavily on TVs now versus everything else, and then what is everything else doesn't hardly ever come out, or if it comes out, it's so expensive that it's ridiculous. So there's really nothing to look forward to for CES. It's a dreamer's paradise, basically.
Yeah, that's actually perfectly said. A dreamer's paradise.
Concept Expo show or whatever, It's a concept show.
It doesn't happen anymore, I guess maybe because we cover it now, so our perception on this has changed. But it used to be so exciting, and now it's not.
Oh yeah, I mean, 5 years ago it was exciting, and now I think there's. You're right. There is kind of a combination of overload of information from CES now because there's so many ways to cover it and so many people covering it. But it's also the products that are being showcased just aren't interesting.
Well, you know what it is?
It's just so far out there.
QNX Monkey brought up a point. There's plenty to look forward to, but the thing is the top bill items. It's always the little things that we always find interesting at CES. It's something that nobody really spoke about. And I'm like, well, you know what? That's actually really cool. Those things are pretty nice. It's the top build items that, the media starts covering and they start really pushing that really turns out not becoming anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem with CES. So a lot happened this week in technology. John, why don't you talk about some of this stuff?
So, of course, the biggest story this week, of course, is the continuation of this Sony hacking scandal. If you remember, a group by the name of Guardians of Peace apparently hacked Sony and grabbed a bunch of stuff from their servers. They leaked movies that haven't been released yet.
Emails.
But this week they threatened theaters that if they were going to show it, that they were going to do this 9/11 attack style on these movie theaters and people going to see the movie The Interview, which is the movie that apparently sparked this whole entire hacking scandal.
Yeah. So there's a link to China. According to the FBI, they've identified China as a potential participant in this.
Yeah, FBI is now confirming that North Korea is involved. I mean, we've had rumors, speculation, thoughts that maybe it's North Korea because, of course, The Interview is an anti-North Korea film. But for North Korea to pull this off, it's a little bit skeptical. A lot of people that are actually in the business and technology have been very skeptical of whether or not North Korea was really involved, or it's just somebody claiming to plant evidence to make it look like North Korea was involved. But now you have the FBI coming out today saying that North Korea is involved and that China might actually be a partner in helping North Korea pull off these hacks.
And this is all because of the movie, The Interview.
Which is funny because if you remember Kim Jong-il, there's been a lot of movies that have come out against North Korea, and he never had an issue with them. He actually liked the movies. But Kim Jong-un, for whatever reason, seems to
hate film,
have issues.
Well, I mean, the fact that they got, I mean, and again, based on the story that we're hearing right now, the fact that the North Korean government hired hackers to hack Sony and to threaten them based on a movie is so insane.
Yeah, and that's basically what Obama just said on TV.
What'd he say? I didn't. I was doing the show.
Said that this shows what kind of country that North Korea is. The fact that they would actually hack a U.S. business over a freaking movie.
And you know what? I'm getting a lot of messages. I posted this on Facebook, and I didn't make it political. I said, I spoke about Sony folding, and I said, this is cyber warfare. This is the future of war. This is how countries are going to fight other countries. They're going to start hacking. They're going to affect financial infrastructure. They're going to mess with energy infrastructure, and this is the future of it. And like 5 people wrote, well, Sony's not an American company, Andrew. I don't know if you know that. Well, no shit, idiot. I know it's not in America, but this is Sony of America. Like, we're talking about the American division of this company.
Yeah.
There's more to Sony than a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Sony also does insurance. They're an insurance company also. Sony does film. Sony has releases. There's multiple divisions to Sony. I think a lot of people are thinking, well, Sony is like Sony TVs.
No, but I totally agree with you. It's very sad. And Obama also echoed this as well, saying that it's sad that Sony did cave into pressure to pull the movie from its Christmas Day release. I mean, I can kind of understand. I mean, I understand the fact that they want to be as cautious as possible given the threat. Me personally, I don't think there's that big of a threat there. I don't think they could necessarily pull that off. But I can understand wanting to err on the side of caution. Plus the fact that the top theater chains out there have also decided that they weren't going to show it as a result of the threat from Guardians of Peace. So on one hand, I do understand where Sony is when they are pulling the Christmas Day release. Not to say that they aren't going to still somehow, someday in the near future release the movie. They're just not going to do it on Christmas Day and probably not this year.
Listen, or they realized that this movie was going to bomb and this was a good excuse not to release it, and they're going to take a loss on it and put it out like 6 months later, and it's going to be tremendous because everybody's going to want to see this stupid movie. That's also an aspect of this.
The opposite effect in the fact that, now that nobody can see it, everybody wants to go and see it,
Yeah.
It's one of those things you can't have, so then therefore you must have it. You must go see it because it'll just piss people off that decided that they don't want this movie to be seen. And I think it's ridiculous the fact that movie theaters have also wanted to screen Team America: World Police
and the theater is pulling
the Interview.
It. Yeah.
And Paramount is also being a freaking coward and saying, nope, we're not going to let you do that either. Like, really?
The movie came
from
out
2004. It's a decade old.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't it come out 10 years ago?
Yes.
Should Alec Baldwin be upset about that movie? You know, should Alec Baldwin protest it? I mean, it's so nutty. It's so nutty. But this is the world that we're in right now. And the bigger story here is this is I want to say the first public attack on a private company from a government contracted attack on a private company, in the United States. This is cyber warfare. This is the beginning of it, and this is the future of war.
We really got to do more about it too, because I think at this point we're losing.
Listen, this is the first one that's come out like this. Who knows how often this happens? I'm sure there are contracted hackers out there that hack many, many companies out there. This is the first one that became so public, and it is publicly acknowledged to this level. This happens all the time, and we also do it too. I mean, every country at this point is doing this. So this is the bigger story is that it's a film and it's a silly reason to do this.
Yeah.
It's because somebody got upset over a movie.
Yeah. I really do hope that Sony does, make good and somehow release this. Even Mitt Romney had a really good idea in the fact that they should just release it online and have a voluntary donation for Ebola. Like, give $5 and all the proceeds go to fight Ebola.
Yeah. I don't know. This is just nutty. Hey, what's the Sprint story? There's something happening with Sprint also, right?
Yeah, they're being called out by one of these organizations. Let me see if I can find the exact name of it. But they basically were charging people between like 2004 and 2013, according to the New York Times. They were being charged for premium text messages.
Yeah.
Basically, unwanted text messages, spam text messages were just being forwarded automatically to people's phones through the Sprint network. And even though people didn't want them, they were still being charged for them, even though it was spam. And so the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is basically claiming that Sprint has to do something about this. The FCC is now looking into it and say that they might actually fine Sprint $105 million over the unauthorized customer billing. If you remember, AT&T also had this issue and were fined about the same amount as Sprint is looking at being fined.
So these were unauthorized or not welcomed. What do they call them? They call them CRAM unauthorized fees.
Yeah. Premium text messages that nobody ever signed up for, but because they're premium in Sprint's system, it gets billed to the user.
So explain to me what a premium text message would be. Would it be like text 9055 for a funny joke, and then the joke charges you whatever?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
that's the way I understand it.
How do you get there if it's how is that unauthorized? Like someone has to give.
It's the same thing as spam email, from my understanding.
Interesting.
I mean, I've gotten them before on T-Mobile. I've gotten them before on Verizon, where I just get these random text messages from time to time, and it's just very bizarre. It's unwanted.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I'm trying to see.
But
here.
Apparently, supposedly Sprint could take care of this problem, and they were charging people even though they knew that this was not a legitimate charge.
So they were aware of this problem. They just didn't give a crap, and they just charged the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but AT&T did the same, and I'm sure Verizon has done it too at some point.
Yeah.
I'm looking here. We're now imagining the government won't let the Now Network pay its fine of $9.99 a month. What is that? At the end of the story. Just reading it out loud. Yeah, this is a big deal for a lot of people. A lot of people were charged. I'm surprised it took this long.
Thing is,
I mean, think about it. Look, 2004 to 2013. You're talking about 9 years.
Almost 10 years.
This was going on.
I mean, it doesn't look like anybody's going to get their money back, but the fact that they're going to be able to, the FCC might force them to pay a fine of $105 million. At least that's some sort of consolation prize.
Yeah, Brian Monroe brings up an interesting point. I know for a fact that in Europe this is an issue, and even emerging markets like India, this is an issue where companies are kind of scamming people, getting their numbers, they're buying numbers off a list, and they're constantly charging them for these messages because they get a kickback from it.
You know what else I've also gotten? I've gotten weird voicemails and stuff from automated calling systems. Like, they won't actually leave a voicemail, but they'll call, and then when you go to call back the number, it's just some automated recording, and it's just very weird.
Like I get
I
like
don't
the
know if you
cruise line
remember me telling
calls.
you that the other day. I've
Yeah.
had that happen 2 or 3 different times where I get the call, they don't leave a message, you wonder what the number is, so you call them back, and it's some automated recording.
Yeah. I mean, I get that every now and then. My burner phone, the phone that I used for reviews. I've never given out the number to anybody because I don't even know the number. So I got a text message and I got a voice message from a number, and it was like we want to help, we want to take a survey. It was like nonsense, and
Yeah.
all I could think of is, where did you get the number? Because this number's never made public.
Yeah.
I don't make phone calls on this thing. It's not even like a New York area code, the phone number.
I don't like giving out that sort of information. I don't like, if there's some sort of form for a website, even those contest things, the raffle copper things, sometimes they ask for your information, including your phone number or your email address. And I just don't like giving that information out because you don't know what they're doing with it. Even though they have privacy policies and whatnot, I just don't trust that they're not going to still do something.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, it happens, and that's how these lists get you.
Yeah.
John, let's talk about this. NBC will stream live broadcasts if you pay for regular TV. Now, you're a pseudo cord cutter.
Mm-hmm.
You somewhat have cut the cord, so this is something interesting to you. But if you wanted to legally watch NBC live broadcasts away from your house, well, now you're in luck. The media giant is now offering a live TV stream on its website starting today, which was this today or yesterday?
This was a couple days
ago.
I think it was Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. And the mobile app viewing is due for early 2015. Right now, it is only available if you pay, if you're paying for cable TV. Have you attempted this? Have you attempted this?
I attempted this, and I was very disappointed with my results.
Okay, so tell me why.
So I went to the NBC website. I clicked the live link.
What, NBC.com?
NBC.com.
Okay.
And then you click on the live link.
Okay, I'm doing that right now.
And it'll auto detect your network.
Well, mine says I gotta verify it. Okay.
Mine automatically verified, and then it said, "Sorry, your local affiliate is not available." Huh? What? My local affiliate is not available.
So your affiliate has decided that it may not be an NBC station. That might be the problem.
But it's just very weird to have this very big campaign and rolling out live broadcasting to their website, but make absolutely no mention anywhere that it might not be available everywhere, and that it's depending on your local affiliate.
Okay, so I'm running it right now. It's a weird widescreen resolution that I've never seen. It doesn't fit my screen. Here's another problem. It's like a half a view because it's super. it's a bigger display, so it's not scaling it to my screen.
I don't know. It's just weird. I mean, it's funny because Comcast owns NBC. I have Comcast Internet. I have Comcast TV, but I can't watch NBC on the NBC website.
That's amazing to me. This is the problem with this. It's so backwards. I mean, you know what it is? It's similar to like what On Demand does, right? Like you pay for your cable,
awful, dude.
and you have On Demand, and it's episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they remove the first 4 and they go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You've heard me complain this past week about ABC and their website.
I'm watching Steve Harvey, John. You're interrupting Steve Harvey.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is he doing Family Feud? Or?
No, he's doing the Steve Harvey show. I mean, this looks pretty good, actually. It's not a bad-looking feed.
I wish I could see it.
Yeah, that sucks.
Unfortunately, I can't. I don't know if it's simply because my local affiliate doesn't have a feed going to NBC system to do this, or they just opt out of it, or they're just not interested in doing it, or what the reason is. I wish I knew, because this is just very frustrating to publicly and very, very publicly advertise the fact that NBC is now going to do this, and the fact that you go to a website, oh, we're sorry, but your local affiliate is not available. What the hell does that mean?
So it probably means that the local affiliate is not owned by NBC. It's not. It's somebody else. It's a third party.
It's just that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that's fascinating. You're going to see
Pisses
this
me off,
happen a
I'll tell you
lot.
that.
No, you're going to see this happen a lot. I'm telling you. And this is the problem with cord cutting. You're not going to have this consistent access amongst services. So if you're on Comcast, your experience is going to be different than mine.
Week, there was some shows that I was trying to watch on ABC and I couldn't watch. A couple of shows that were canceled, but they have the unaired episodes on ABC. And some of the unaired episodes are also on Xfinity On Demand. But neither the ABC website or the Xfinity On Demand system are in sync with each other. So some of them have each episodes, but even the episodes that they do have between each other are out of order. So episodes like 6 and 7 are 8 and 9 on Xfinity.
Yeah. Well, Brian in the chat said it. He goes, this is why they were scared of Aereo, and the problem was Aereo worked. And Aereo worked really well.
And
for
ABC's website for watching stuff on their website is horrible. I have absolutely no interest in ever going back to the ABC website to watch content on their website. Ever. It was horrible. It was not even HD. Or at least the times that it was in HD, it was still very low quality. Like, I could barely tell that it was HD. But when you go to Netflix, you can clearly tell stuff is in HD.
Yeah.
But if you go to ABC's website and watch something on their website, man, you're very hard to get, HD content from their website, even if you can tell.
QNX Monkey says ABC most unaired canceled shows pushed to YouTube.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
QNX Monkey, that's exactly the show I was watching, Manhattan Love Story. I wanted to finish watching that because I kind of liked it, but it was very frustrating, and I can completely understand why people pirate content now.
Yeah, because it's not a listen, people are pirating music until now iTunes is available and Spotify is available, and it's become so easy to access music, and it's somewhat affordable, where people are pirating music less and less. That's the reality of it, because it's essentially there, and it's more convenient for you to download, to buy it than it is to find it somewhere and pirate it. It's the opposite for television at this moment. It's easier to pirate this stuff than it is to access it legitimately, because you got to piece it together. Where am I getting this one from? Where am I getting that one from?
Yeah, and this is also the problem with these news services that are coming out from HBO and CBS, where they offer you this content online, but you still got to go to each retrospective application or website in order to access that content.
Yeah.
There's not an all-in-one place like Aereo did where you could get that content. All I really want, and I don't mind paying for cable, I really don't. All I want is to be able to watch TV either on my TV, on my computer, and have a cloud DVR that I can access from my phone, my computer, or my TV.
Yeah.
Why is that so hard?
That's a very good question, John.
And like I said, I don't mind paying for cable. I really don't.
Well,
I'm happy to pay $150 a month for cable. I'm fine with it. I watch a lot of TV.
But you want what you want.
But I want to be able to watch it on my phone, have stuff recorded to the cloud and watch it on my phone, or I want to watch it on my computer, not necessarily my TV. But right now, the only way to do that is to watch it on TV.
Well, I mean, the thing that bothers me and drives me nuts is that and this is how screwed up. Like, you go on demand on your cable box, and they have the History Channel, right? And they have all these. They have like a couple shows on there, and you don't care for. But the one thing that you want to watch is not there. If you go to the History Channel app, you can watch it there, but not everything is available there either. If you go to Hulu or like another service that they have, like History 2 may have the other ones. So History Channel has half of them. History 2 has the other one. You got to get them online. You got to get it on demand. It's all over the place. It's really insane. Why don't we talk about Amazon Prime Now? Did you see this, John?
Yeah, I saw a little bit about this, but it's not available in my area, so I can't even try it.
I downloaded it. I got it. Sadly, I live outside of Manhattan, and it's not available. So I pretended I'm in Manhattan, and I'm looking here. It says shop by department, and you get it within an hour. I mean, that's pretty cool.
What kind of items do they have on there? Which that was something I couldn't understand, is that they have this now delivery service where you can schedule things within an hour of delivery, but I don't understand what it is that you can have delivered.
Everything.
Groceries?
No, everything.
Is it electronics?
Yeah, so I'm looking here. There's different categories, so I'm in the electronics section. So I could get I could buy a Kindle Fire and have it within an hour.
Huh.
They have that.
Is it just Kindle products or Amazon products? Or is it like other electronics?
Well, let's
like
go into...
Can you order a USB hub?
So I'm under electronics. I'm just
Or
scrolling.
can you order an HDMI cable?
Yeah, they got HDMI cables. They got SD cards. They got batteries. They got light bulbs. They got a green screen. You can buy mayonnaise.
So you can get a green screen in an hour.
Yeah. A lot of batteries and a lot of salad dressing. I don't know why that's in the technology. Let me see computers. Let me see what we have there.
I mean, this is interesting, the fact that they're going to do this. I'm curious whether or not they actually have a warehouse in Manhattan where they're shipping or they're getting all these products from. Or
I think they do.
Are they just going to, your CVS or what have you, or Radio Shack, getting these items and getting it to people in an hour?
I think this is a warehouse because it's sold by Amazon. Some of this stuff says it says sold by Amazon, so I'm assuming it's Amazon that's pushing it out.
Or maybe is it from because they were talking about having like Amazon pop-up stores at one point, weren't they?
Yeah, I think this is a warehouse somewhere. Let me see here. I'm trying to find something that would not be traditional. Oh, here we go. So cat food. I could buy 50 cents for a can of Fancy Feast.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and I could get it within the hour. So I don't know if they're going to like a store for this or they were actually storing this in a warehouse because it doesn't say sold by Amazon.
Huh.
This is actually a great idea. You know?
Yeah, for those people that are too lazy to go out and get it or don't have the time or
can't.
What have you.
Or can't go get it. You know what this is going to be handy? Last minute Christmas stuff. Last minute Christmas stuff. A lot of stuff on Amazon right now says Amazon Prime, but I can't get it. It's not going to come. It's going to come on like Friday. A lot of my items got pushed back actually.
Amazon Prime shipping has gotten kind of weird where, they can easily ship stuff in usually one day, but they still make you wait 2 days. And like we just recently ordered some stuff and it hasn't moved. It's been over a day and it hasn't moved from the warehouse. And it says it'll be here Monday. But it was ordered Thursday? Wednesday or Thursday it was ordered.
So Nikki says that one story said that they got the delivery within 7 minutes in the city.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Good.
I mean, that's great. That's really good.
This might actually make sense for city, for a place like Manhattan where there's congestion and lots of people.
I think something like this is phenomenal for them because it's very difficult to go shopping in Manhattan. And they're going to make a lot of money off the grocery stuff. Amazon Pantry is going to make a lot of money with this because I know plenty of people that don't go grocery shopping. They get it delivered. That's how you shop in Manhattan. That's how you do grocery shopping. Use, what's the other one that Amazon owns for the delivery? Peapod or something.
Yeah.
They use services like that, and it's a huge help for them.
I think that kind of stuff makes more sense for an area like Manhattan than it does for Metro Detroit.
Why? Well,
or even Queens.
Well, in Detroit, you guys don't stop at lights, right? You just roll right through them. God forbid you stop at a light.
I don't stop for nothing in Detroit.
Yeah. It's like RoboCop. RoboCop 1. That's a real life that John Lee lives. The police force are just a bunch of robots at this point. Fighting for Nuke. Nuke was a drug, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Amazon Fresh. It's Fresh and it was Peapod or something like that for a while. Going to the T-Mobile story, John.
So T-Mobile had its Uncarrier 8.0 event. It wasn't a very big event, but they announced Data Stash. Basically, it's the same as data rollover. The fourth place carrier, U.S. carrier, will now let select postpaid customers carry unused data into future billing cycles.
What is postpaid?
High-speed data you don't normally use each month automatically rolls into a personal data stash so that you can use it when you need it for up to a year. Basically, this is for Simple Choice customers who have purchased additional 4G LTE data. T-Mobile says customers must be paying for at least 3 gigabytes of data each month for smartphones and up to 1 gigabyte or more for tablets. Customers with a lower data ceiling won't be able to count on data stash to help avoid throttling.
So essentially, you got to pay for 3 gigs. This is not for prepaid customers. This is for regular customers.
Yes,
and
people on it's for qualifying customers. So it's not everybody that has something at T-Mobile.
I think this is great. And
Well,
I'll tell you why. I don't
weird.
go through how many minutes do you use on yours? How much data do you use on yours?
Oh, I don't use much on mine because I'm always home. So
I'm
but
paying
if
for
I
10
am away
gigs.
from home, then I do use a lot of data.
I pay for 10 gigs. And we probably have 4 phones on this thing, and we probably use only 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how little I use. I should actually change my plan, but that'd be great to roll over every month. And when you finally go away, you have this giant stash of data that you could go through.
Yeah, it's good for up to a year, and I'm basically the same as you. I have, I believe, 4 gigabytes shared between 3 smartphones, and we normally barely even use 1 gigabyte. But it's funny because you're still paying for 4 gigabytes. You're still paying for that data, but it doesn't roll over. You don't get to use that data next month.
Goes away.
Which is kind of sad because there are those times where I might be away from home for a day or two and I want to stream a movie, but you can't really do that on 4 gigabytes.
Yeah.
You could do it maybe once and that's it, you know?
Yeah.
So something like this makes a lot of sense where perhaps, once in a blue moon, you're away from home. You need some extra data so that you can do some streaming of some stuff. That's the case that I see it for. But it's sad in the sense that we used to have data roll over on T-Mobile and
did they take it away?
At one point.
Did they all kill it?
Yeah, this is what happened is there used to be like unlimited and there used to be rollover data, and you just don't have that anymore. But now T-Mobile, I guess, is bringing it back, and in some ways it makes sense.
Is it because they realize that a lot of people are not using their minutes and, they were kind of screwing themselves by it?
I have no idea.
I wonder if that was the case.
I don't understand why carriers do a lot of the things that they do.
They hate
why
us.
they don't come out with the latest operating system until a year after it's been out for a phone, except for Apple.
Because they hate us, John. That's why.
To me, that stuff makes no sense.
So 2014 is almost over. And you want to go through the top 10 most popular searches.
On Google, that is.
On Google.
This is a list. There's 2 lists. We have a U.S. trending searches and global trending searches. And I love the global trending one, by the way.
Do you want to do global first?
Let's do U.S. first.
Okay.
I mean, both these lists are almost identical except for maybe 3 spots.
Okay, so I guess I'll start with 10. Ukraine is number 10. Number 9 is Frozen. Number 8 is Ferguson. Number 7 is ISIS. 6, ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Number 5 is Flappy Birds. That's amazing how that's in there. Number 4.
Isn't it?
I know. Malaysia Airlines. Number 3, Ebola. Number 2, World Cup. And number 1 is Robin Williams.
Yeah, it's interesting how a lot of this is also in the order of what's happened the most recently.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is...
And the fact that Robin Williams was such a big deal. So also on the global trending searches, starting at number 10, we have Sochi Olympics. Number 9 is Frozen, same as the U.S. list. 8 is ISIS. 7 is Conchita Wurst. Your good pal there.
My pal, my doppelganger.
6 is Flappy Bird. 5 is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. 4 is the Malaysia Airlines disappearance. 3 is Ebola, 2 is World Cup, and 1 is Robin Williams.
Interesting.
So between the 2 lists, U.S. and global, they're almost identical.
So, interesting note, this is the first year in a few where Apple products did not make the cut. 2010 had the iPad, 2011 had both the iPhone 5 and the iPad 3, 2012 had the iPad 3 again, 2013 had the iPhone 5S in the second spot. So Apple was not searched. But, in all fairness, a lot of stuff happened this year.
Yeah.
You had the World Cup that happens once every 4 years. You had an Ebola outbreak, which hasn't happened since the 90s. 2 airplanes crashed from Malaysian Airlines.
The fact that the top 4 searches between both US and global trending searches are exactly the same, I think says a lot.
It does say a lot. And the other thing is a lot of this stuff, except for Sochi, a lot of the stuff, like the US one, it's all stuff that happened in the second half of the year.
Pretty much, yeah.
Robin Williams, Ebola, the World Cup, Malaysian Airlines, the Ice Bucket Challenge, ISIS, Ferguson, and Ukraine.
I can't believe that Frozen is still trending.
I never saw it, and I told Jess when we have kids, our kids are never going to watch cartoons like that. Stupid.
Let it go, Andrew.
Let it go. Let it go. It's just awful. So
I love the fact that on the global trending searches, you have Conchita Wurst at number 7.
I guess she was huge in
the
Europe.
The fact that she actually made the list for trending searches is just hilarious to me.
She is a very attractive man.
You have to say that, though, because you look so much alike.
Yeah, we do. We do. Oh, that's hysterical. You know, I swear to you, I still scroll by that picture sometimes, and I sometimes think it's a Photoshop image of me. I'm not even joking. I really sometimes think it's a Photoshopped image of me.
You should do that for Halloween next year. Dress up as Conchita Wurst.
I mean,
I'm sure Jessica do all your makeup for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's
seriously,
amazing.
I would love to see that.
It's amazing. I would be a really pretty girl with a beard. Oh, that's all I'm saying. Be a really pretty girl with a beard. We got a couple minutes here, and I wanted to give a little plug to a friend's website. It's called checkoutthelatest.com. And what they do is every day they post the best videos on the internet, and they sort it out by YouTube, Vimeo, and Dailymotion. It's a nice little idea, and you could also search based on like videos, music, entertainment, funny, sports, games, things like that. I was talking to him yesterday, and I was talking to his wife actually because she works with my wife, and I was like, oh, you know what? This is actually a really good idea, and it's a really cool concept. So I wanted to give them a little plug on the show. It's called checkoutthelatest.com, and they post videos. It kind of reminds me of remember our friends at YouTube Time Machine.
Yeah,
kind of similar concept to that, you know. It's a good idea. So a little plug.
Check out the latest.
Yeah, check out thelatest.com. Also, John, I am excited for a couple of things here. Number one, we're going to be doing some changes in the studio. I'm going to be upgrading a lot of the hardware because we are, and I'm curious if this is just technology just getting crappy over time or it's time to upgrade. You know. Because this streaming machine that we've been using since 2011 is on its way out. We're having some issues here.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of having problems. So we're going to be upgrading that stuff. We have some other lighting upgrades to do. We're going to be changing some cards. So there's a lot happening over the next couple months. If you want to help us out, you can fund us. You can fund our Patreon campaign. That's patreon.com/whatthetech. You can fund anything you want. It's a month. They charge you per episode. It's a couple bucks here and there. You could do 25 cents. You could do $1, whatever you want to do. It's all welcome. The other way you could help us is by using our Amazon link. If you go to gfq.co/Amazon, you bookmark that. And whenever you buy something on Amazon, use that link and we get a tiny little credit from every purchase. And it really helps us out because we use that whenever we're buying stuff. I need to get a new motherboard and etc. The other thing is we're changing the format of What the Tech for the new year. I think, John, we should take a week off somewhere in between.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't want to do it.
Maybe that first week in January.
Well, that's CES. Well, no, it's not
but
CES.
It's also CES, so we don't really care.
No, it's not CES. Sorry, the week before that. Yeah. So maybe the first week we should take off. I guess that's a second. We'll take off on the second, and then we'll come back. We're changing the format. We're going to have a little bit more structure to the show. You know, we're having fun the last couple of weeks.
We want to include more of you guys. I mean, we love having you in the chat room, and you guys also always have great points to make. We also want you guys to submit stories because we want to use your stories. What are you guys interested in us talking about on the show? In order to do that, though, we need you guys to go to gfqtech.reddit.com and submit stories for us to, look over and use for the show each week.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that, and a couple other things are in store. You can follow John on Twitter at Suncast. You can follow me at Andrew Zarian. Of course, you can follow GFQ Network and subscribe to us wherever our podcasts are available. I guess this is the last show before Christmas, so Merry Christmas to everyone. And hopefully you'll be a good boy and get a good gift. Bye-bye for now.